It has been. I remember before that.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm. How'd your property come out through all the storms and stuff?
No, it's fine.
It's just,
That historic property has been in that. Oh, no,
so,
it's okay. You know, it's Cypress Burn.
good.
The October 17th meeting of the Eden Prairie City Council will now come to order. I'll rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Prior to the start of each council meeting, which is generally the first and the third Tuesdays of the month, we provide an opportunity for Eden Prairie residents to address the council on items of city business. If you wish to speak to the council at that time, please contact the city manager's office at 949-8412 by noon of the meeting date with your name, your phone number, and the subject matter you want to discuss. After scheduled speakers are completed, we will open up the floor to unscheduled speakers. This portion of the meeting is not televised, nor is it recorded. Again, if you have any questions, please contact the city manager's office at 949-8412. We'll start out today with some proclamations and presentations. First from Mr. Lothammer, I believe you're going to do this portion.
Yes, Your Honor. We have an event just around the corner on Halloween, a reoccurring event at the mall, Halloween at the mall. About 8,000 people are estimated to show up to do indoor trick-or-treating as well as entertainment. Many of our city departments are involved with the program, as well as the mall tenants, so people can go from shop to shop and partake in an indoor Halloween experience. But in order to do that, we do have some community partners with us that we want to recognize tonight for their donation. First one being Vail Orthodontics for $100. Also the Optimus Club for $400, and the Eden Prairie Crime Fund for $750. So that all goes into making this event possible and a good quality event. So we really appreciate their assistance.
Great. Thank you. It's a wonderful event. I can't believe 8,000 people. Is that number pretty much stable now?
It has.
Or is
and
it growing?
You know, from my experiences, it's really limited to that because of the parking stalls. There isn't an extra stall left on that night.
Wow.
So it is packed.
That's really something. Great. Thank you. Is there a motion?
Well, are you going to separate them, or how are you doing it?
Nope. It's all in
Follow
one.
this.
Okay.
I'm sorry. You still
All right.
annotate. Sorry about that.
I would move to approve the resolution accepting the donation of $1,250 from the Eden Prairie Crime Fund, $750, Optimus Club of Eden Prairie, $400, and Vail Orthodontics, $100 towards the Halloween on the Mall event.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion passes. The next item is a donation of fruit trees from Hennepin County.
Yes, Your Honor, council members, this one doesn't actually require a resolution because it's from one government body to another, so technically no resolution is required. But I wanted to say thank you for your participation in the event, and there were actually 2 events that day. So the way this worked, Hennepin County donated 28 fruit trees through their forestry department. They're doing this throughout the county. Sometimes it's on their own facility. I think if you drive by the old library, you'll see some recent trees planted as well. But really in an effort for reforestation throughout the county, some of that's a response to emerald ash borer. We had the opportunity to do 2 different locations, and I'm going to walk you through some photos of those. One was at Pioneer Park, where the mayor and councilmember Case were able to join us, as well as board members from PROP, people reaching out to people. And the reason for that is we're partnering with them as well as Hennepin County, because we as a city will care for these trees, and hopefully not more than a couple years from now, they'll be bearing fruit. And that fruit will then go for people that are in need of food, and PROP will be the distributor of that. So a really nice opportunity. You'll also see in the photo members of our Senior Advisory Council, members of our Parks Commission. So a really good day of good support, and many people that were involved in making this happen. So this is the big group that was there. Pioneer Park is located behind the Senior Center. Here's another, you see the mayor addressing and thanking some of the people that were there. The next one a little closer up on some of the planting of the trees. Plum, pear, apple, so a good variety of types
Apricot
of fruit.
even.
Apricot as
And
well.
plum.
And even within those, different species of those too. So all hardy to this climate. It's another look at some of the planting efforts and strategy photo on the right on how to do it correctly. We also were at Prairie View Elementary School about an hour before, and the significance of that location, we have one of our 2 edible gardens are at that location. So the elementary school children in the spring help tend and plant the edible garden. Some of them that participate in our summer playground program, they are also part of the helping with making the garden grow and even harvesting some of that. Well, during our summer playground program, we'll make some salsa right out of the garden that they've been tending. And then the kids come back to school in the fall and they really wrap it up. Some of the additional produce there ends up going to prop as well. So the fruit trees that will be planted and were planted there will also go to help prop. So we had a group of 3rd graders come out and help us with that. Got some really neat pictures of the kids getting their hands dirty and working with shovels. And for a lot of them, first time ever planting a tree or being a part of a event like this. So good photos. So we really thank Hennepin County, partnerships with the school, partnerships with Prop, and really a good opportunity to enhance the trees and number of trees here in our community. Just this past year in the park system alone, we planted over 150 trees and more to come. And also, in addition to that, continued converting some of the native or the mowed areas to native turf and grasses. So continued those environmental efforts as we move forward.
Great. Thank you for bringing that forward. It was a great event, and those of us that attended, I think, learned a lot about tree planting. It was a good demonstration of how to properly plant a bare root tree. It was great. Okay, thank you. Is there a motion for approval of the agenda and other items of business?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any items to change?
Mayor, one item on the consent agenda, we need to remove item I. So when you approve consent, it's a last item.
Right.
You approve A through H.
Okay. All right, there's been a motion for approval of the agenda. I assume you'll accept the change?
Yes.
On the agenda. All in favor of the agenda?
Aye.
Motion passes. Is there a motion for approval of the minutes from the council workshop held on Tuesday, October 3rd?
Move approval.
Second.
Any changes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
The motion passes.
And I'm going to abstain because I wasn't here for that
Okay.
meeting.
Thank you. Is there a motion for approval of the council meeting minutes held that same date?
So moved. Second.
Any items to change or correct there? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
The motion passes. Consent calendar.
I would
Motion for approval?
Move approval of A through H.
Second.
Anything to discuss or pull? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Brings us to the first of 2 public hearings. The first one is 2017 special assessments. Mr. Getchell.
Yes, Mayor. So it's 2 action items, but we're actually holding 1 public hearing. The second action item is United Health Group assessment. So we have a council member that would not vote on that item. But items A and B are all of the special assessments from the previous 12 months of city work. And as you know, each and every year, we hold a public hearing and the council passes a resolution to certify these assessments to Hennepin County to then put these assessments on the taxes by the end of November of each year for the following tax year. And if you look in the packet, as is typical each year, the assessments are mainly related to development. And in the case of this year, almost all of the assessments are storm sewer, sanitary sewer, water, lateral trunk related and connection fees, SAC and WAC related to development. So as you look through those, you can see many of the development projects that you've approved throughout the course of the last year or 2 years. These are the utility assessments related to that. And then we have some miscellaneous assessments that we place due to maybe tree removal or tall grass mowings that occur throughout the year where the city needs to step in and correct a code deficiency or issue on a property. So as I mentioned, you would hold one public hearing, and then we have the 2 separate actions. One would be for all of the assessments with the exception of the UHG assessment for Shady Oak Road. That would just be a separate action.
Okay, great, thank you. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone from the audience that wants to address the council on the 2017 special assessments?
Seeing none, I move to close the public hearing and adopt resolution approving the special assessments presented in fall 2017.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. The motion passes. Is there a motion on the UHG assessment?
Move to adopt the resolution approving the United Health Group special assessments presented in the fall of 2017.
Second.
Any discussion on that?
I'm going to recuse myself.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Payment of claims, is there a motion for approval of the payment of claims?
Move approval?
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Aho,
Aye.
Councilmember Butcher Wickstrom,
Aye.
Councilmember Case,
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson,
Aye.
Mayor Tara Lupin.
Aye. That brings us to reports of our Public Works Director. Mr. Ellis, you're going to present from there?
Yes, I am,
Okay.
Madam Mayor. So if you recall, at the October 3rd City Council, I had given an update about the Lower Minnesota River Watershed District proposing a change in the definition of bluff and bluff setback. At the conclusion of that meeting, the City Council requested that staff come back with a resolution of opposition to those proposed changes. So before you tonight is that resolution. If it is approved tonight, that will be delivered to the Lower Minnesota River Watershed District before their October 25th public hearing, where they could take action on this. I will also share that in reviewing comments that other cities and citizens have submitted, it appears that Eden Prairie's opposition to these changes to the bluff definition are consistent with letters sent by the city of Bloomington, Carver, Savage, Burnsville, Shakopee, Scott County, and also 37 other citizens from Eden Prairie, Bloomington, and Chanhassen who are concerned about this change. So with this approval tonight, that will be forwarded on to the Watershed District, and staff will be in attendance at that meeting just to, I guess, gauge the outcome or recommendations that come out of their final action.
Okay. Mr. Getchell, or did you hit your, okay, I'm sorry. Mr. Case.
Yeah, Robert, I just had a question about potential greater impact of our action tonight as well. So it was impactful what you just read right there, that all those different cities are, or we are joining them, but we are joined together in this opposition. And what I'm wondering is, in terms of the watershed district, there are usually like Met Council, or there are bodies that are governing over them. Can, in this case, I don't believe it's Met Council because it's south of the river, but what's the body that would be over a few county commissions, or who would?
Yes, Mr. Case, the various counties that make appointments to the board would include Hennepin, Scott, Carver counties. Perhaps another one in there, but yes, they each have appointment powers to the board.
Could I recommend that it be CC'd to all of those county commissions, and then on the letter that goes to the Watershed District Board, there's evidence that it was CC'd basically to their, appointers or bosses, and then could it be also sent to the governor's office?
Yes, Councilmember Case, we could certainly.
And then
do
are there
that.
legislative committees that significantly have power overseeing the Watershed District?
I mean, they are
boards?
statewide run, right?
There must
or
be,
appointed by the state. So
There must be a House and a Senate committee that's responsible for Could we find that?
soil and water, or
I don't know, but could staff find that out? I mean, it's an easy, you just print another letter and put it in another envelope. But if, what I'm looking for, obviously, is the extra power of showing the Watershed District Board that we have copied these 9 different groups, and getting those letters to the various bodies out there that I would hope would be making our statement tonight be possibly even more impactful.
Thank you. I think that's a good point. Anything else on this?
Do you want a motion?
Yes.
I would move to adopt the resolution to oppose the Lower Minnesota River Watershed District's proposed changes to the definition of a bluff and bluff setback area.
second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. The motion passes. Is there any other business to bring before the council tonight?
Mayor, can I maybe talk about calendar of meetings and,
Sure.
and coming up at the end of the year? So typically we'd have a meeting on the first and third Tuesday in November. The first Tuesday in November is Election Day in Eden Prairie. It is only the school board election. There aren't any other offices up. But due to the fact that there is that election, a governing body cannot meet that evening. And this was decided a year ago that we would then meet on the third Tuesday, but we decided because we're not meeting on the first Tuesday, we'll meet on the second Tuesday. So our only meeting in November will be November 14th. And then in December, we typically meet on the first and third Tuesday, but we cancel the second meeting in December if a budget is approved at the first meeting. In this case, we also agreed to meet only on the second Tuesday in December. So our 2 upcoming meetings are November 14th and December 12th. If for some reason you would not pass a budget on December 12th, you could set a meeting for December 19th. But that you probably won't need to do that. So just those are the 2 remaining meetings this year, and I think we would require that the students have to come back to those meetings because if
Because this is such a short one.
if they're only here for 20 minutes,
Yeah,
I think they have to come back.
I don't think it counts.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Yeah, this is probably the shortest meeting we've had all year, so good choice, you guys. Good meeting to come to. But it is nice if you come to a meeting and there happens to be something on the agenda that's somewhat controversial. I think you see a little bit more about how government works. So in a way, you kind of didn't get lucky in that respect, so. Right?
Come back.
Come back, yeah, anytime, or watch us on TV. Okay.
Want to learn about pickleball? Watch the last meeting.
Yeah, okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.